question: what defines life? Seriously.
Diane, you can start that one.
Well, like lots of things, there are varying definitions depending on the context. In some ways, anything that has living cells in it is alive. So plants are alive in that they have DNA and they have cells that are metabolically active. But as we've seen tonight, there's different types of life. That's actually something that biologists, and I mean this quite seriously, do discuss. How do you define something that is alive? Because it's obviously something more than just the substance that the living things are made of, because they're made of the same stuff that's out there in the non-living world. It's more to do with the activity, how the substances within living things actually interact with one another. So a living cell is more than just the substance that it's made of. It's actually its function, how those living component, how the organic components are put together and interact with one another, that cannot be accounted for simply by the substance. Now we know that that's because they are organized from the outside by a creator, by a creator who has put in a lot of information and manipulated them. So one cell can be alive, but as we've seen tonight, there is a difference between plant life and microbe life and animal life and human life. So like lots of things, you can have a big definition for life in general, in terms of just something that is biologically functioning, but also you've got specific aspects of life within that.
And on top of that, Diane, the point that I'm making again is that it is not the biologist's definition of life that matters. It is how God treats it, because he created life and he breathed into Adam, and Adam became a living soul. So without that presence of God's spirit in man, then man is technically dead. You'll find that there is no life there without the spirit. But when it comes to the mechanics of a single cell, you can define life by X, Y, Z. When it comes to an animal who can smile at you, I mean, my dog loves fun, right? And my dog loves chasing sticks, and my dog is smart enough to sit in the water on a really hot day and watch his master sweat it out in the heat. And the dog will smile at that, thing, you big idiot, come and join me in the water. And they've got a sense of knowledge and memory, etc., which an amoeba and single cell plants don't actually have. But when it comes to human beings, are you willing to accept God's definition that if you sin, you will surely die, like Adam did? And you can get new life only because of his spirit coming and inhabiting with you. It won't fit a scientific definition. In fact, I'm always reminded of the foolishness of our very famous ABC medical commentator, Dr. Carl, who said he can see a time coming. We've conquered this problem. We've put artificial blood in things. We've done all this. He can see a time coming when we'll live to be 5,000 or 6,000 years old and have the body of a young person. Now, I'm going to make a prophecy. Dr. Carl will be dead long before that ever happens. So will everybody else, because the only way you can live forever is because God's spirit remakes you in his likeness, which is part of the promise of the gospel, to receive a new body remade in his likeness on the new heavens and new earth, and where there'll be nothing to kill you off. Amen. No carnivores. No, I mean, all the tabby cats, are they coming back? If they do, then they won't be carnivores ever again.
I was going to add to that. In graduate school, I actually took some seminary classes and had to do a white paper on a thesis on what is death and what defines death. That's a very difficult question as well, and had to go through the legal aspects of what defines death. And the point that I was going to make is just what John made. You know, we're struggling with, from a scientific standpoint or from a legal standpoint, how do you define death? but God makes the rules, and God defined life. And that's just what John was talking about, and God defines death as well. So there's a biological aspect of it, but the one that really matters is God's aspect of it.